Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Sorry to get you this so late, but I've been recuperating from my trip, which I will get into in a moment. Well, actually, uh, let's just jump straight into it. Let's just go there. Pardon me, it is cold out, so I must keep myself warm so that I can keep talking to you. I used to not drink coffee for a long, long time, but I've gotten back into it because tea is not as offered as much on campus as it used to be, much to my annoyance. Anyway, let's go straight into it, shall we? For most of the week, nothing too particularly exciting. Just classwork, classwork, and classwork. Middle Eastern politics has gotten very fun, amusing and funny, especially when our professor kept getting Nasser and Sadat, uh, both presidents, well, the first and the second president of Egypt proper. He kept getting them confused. Oh, and apparently, Richard Nixon was a Holocaust survivor as well, according to our professor and his mistakes, which I kept reminding him about and caused many humorous moments. But so yeah, that came along, and Arabic's been fun. We're still learning many, many things about Arabic, but we'll get into the part you're all most excited about because you've probably already seen most of my videos up already. So we will talk about my trip to the Sahara, um, and how wonderful and exciting that was. Again, my apologies. Um, anyway, so it all started out with one of my classmates in beginning Arabic, informing me that this trip was happening, and and they were gonna rent a mini shuttle bus, and he wanted to know if I wanted to come along. I asked him, well, how many people more do you need? He said two or three. And I said, well, let me know by the end of tonight if you still need me to come along. I have got nothing going on. I end up going. He ends up contacting me and telling me, well, obviously I went, telling me that they still need more people. And I said, okay, well, I'll come along. Me and my roommate have this this run-on joke that I'm gonna go to the Sahara, get lost, and come back looking like Charlton Heston from Ten Commandments with his big flowing beard and thunderstruck hair, and just come onto campus with people staring at me, and I'll go, "Hear me, oh people," and all that good stuff. So we had many laughs that night, and then I had to get up early in the morning, get ready, and then meet everyone up, and we got on our bus and we went along. The whole ride down to the actual desert is about a 10-hour drive. I slept through most of it, waking up only to have lunch with everyone, which was okay. It was a decent lunch. We went through many beautiful towns, some older than others, and then we finally got to our venue, or the town right before our venue. Same thing. The whole town region is called Merzouga, and and it basically just covers the whole about what a 25-mile radius of the place. Anyway, it's a very famous tourist attraction area because it's one of the closest points to the Saharan desert. So we get off there. We stop in the city portion of it. Uh, I forget if, and please, Moroccans watching this video, please correct me on this, that either the Green March had already happened or it was about to happen because there were a lot of the flags of Morocco were out in full force and everything like that. It was a very patriotic feeling in the air. So we all got out. We got in these Jeeps, Ford Explorers, and such, and drove out into the desert where we met the guys who were going to give us camels, and he rode camels. We got there about what time did we arrive? We got there about 6. Around 6 is when we touched down at the camel place. And we were all assigned camels, and you don't get to, it's not like horses where you get to free ride your horses. No, camels are a lot more independent than that, so they actually have to be tied together in a caravan line. Otherwise, they can become very obstinate, which mine was. My first camel was very obstinate. It was a fight to get me on this thing. Not that I didn't want to get on it, so much as it didn't want anyone to get on it. So it was a fight to get me on that thing, and it was pretty... Well, I don't think it would have been as bad if it wasn't for the fact that this one girl, who shall not be named, was the first person to get on the camel, decided to scream bloody murder the entire 5 seconds, her first 5 seconds on it, and startle all the other camels. So we're like, and I thought to myself, oh great, this is a beautiful moment to start our trip on, our travel and journey into the desert. It was wonderful. So we get all going and we start going, and it was amazing. Traveling the dunes and all that, it was feeling unlike any other. I can't really describe it in words, or to use the correct terminology to portray the emotions and the feeling it was to ride a camel in the desert, other than I haven't experienced quite anything like it. It was I guess to put it in the sense of Buddhism, it was sort of meditative. I really didn't have any thought going through my mind. I wasn't experiencing anything. I was just in a moment of zen and oneness with the world around me. I've had this moment a couple times in my life, and when you experience it, it's very profound and eclipses anything going on at the current moment. The only other feeling I had was the immense pain coming from the groin and the inner thigh area, because you're quite literally getting stretched, and your legs are being bowed, because it's a hump. You were riding on a hump, and the middle of it is swollen. So your legs are literally, you're forced to hold a 90 degree, not a 90 degree, is that right? No, more than a 90. I would say like a 110 degree angle between your legs, and it is quite painful. And it took us 2.5 hours to get to where we were staying, and we were staying with these Bedouins. I want to say they were they were Bedouins. Out in the desert, a whole 2.5 hours into the desert, by camel travel, which really distance-wise in terms of miles and kilometers isn't that far, but when you travel in dunes, the distance to time ratio is exacerbated quite a bit. Again, my apologies, but I'm outside and it will be getting very cold very soon. So I must keep up my temperature. Anyway, ooh, that's nice. Where was I? Oh yeah, so we get to base camp, which hopefully those of you have already seen the video of what base camp looks like. But when we arrived, the sun had already set for the most part during our travel. So when we arrived, the first of the stars are coming out. And that's one of the main reasons why people go to the Sahara, that do the tourist thing and all that, because you will see more stars out there than you will anywhere else in your life. It is quite a surreal, magical experience and feeling, unlike most things you will encounter in a natural environment, being out there in nature. So in that sense, it was different, and for quite literally thousands of stars out in the sky. Um, I wish I had a very good camera to take the pictures of, but it takes a special advanced camera to take pictures to actually capture stars. Believe it or not, you cannot on a normal camera or video camera cannot capture stars. That's something I did not know about, but I know now, and now hopefully you know. So we get there, and we're all sitting around talking, taking it all in, taking in just the fact that we're in the desert. The stars are out in all their magnitude. The sun has set, and the cold is moving in. So we all go into the dining area. Well, we sit out, and we have some Bedouin. We have some more Shea Makrib, or Moroccan tea. Of course, our host called it a Bedouin whiskey. I liked it. It was a very good joke, very good humor. And of course, most of us are American. We only had like one German and one French with us. Peter, the German, was the one who invited me on the trip, and I thank him for that. And we had one Moroccan student who lived in a town near the Sahara. No. 1 minute while I think of his name. He's gonna see this video and he's gonna hate me because I've forgotten his name, but I apologize, my friend. I am horrible with names. I've even forgotten your name most of the time on the trip. Ilias. His name is Ilias. It took me a while, but I got it. Anyway, so we sat down. We had the Berber whiskey, Shea Makrib, Moroccan tea, and finally we had dinner. It started out with salad, which was white rice and salsa, and it was very good, very good. And then we had some tagine, which is a one of the more well-known Moroccan food and delicacy cuisine, and it is very good. What we had was a different kind of tagine that I had not had yet. It was kind of like string bean chili, but very sweet, very sweet. If you mix like brown sugar beans in it with caramelized onions, it was very good, very good. And what you do is you take a section of bread, and it's served in a giant cauldron, and you just scoop it and eat it like that, like you would with chips and salsa. It was very good, very good. I only wish I could know how to make it so I can make it back at home, but that would also necessitate I have the cauldron that it's cooked and served in. Well, I can buy that very easily, but it was huge. It was massive. Anyway, so we get out. So after dinner, we sit around and talk more, and we get a campfire going, and we sit around. The Bedouins are playing music, and it was just a great experience, a very good experience. And then finally, the cold is in its height. It's below 30 degrees, probably 25, if not 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Very cold out. And we all decide to go in our beds. I'll spare the details of a humorous story that I have, and I'll tell it to those who want to hear about it. But those who are watching this video, who were on that trip, know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it was very cold, very difficult to sleep out, because you literally need 3 blankets to cover yourself. At least that's what Ilias had. Ilias had 2 blankets, and he had a hard time sleeping with all of his clothes and shoes on. I slept and everything as well with one blanket, and I found it very hard to sleep as well. That's the one downside to the desert, because sand does not trap as much heat in as regular ground and gravel. So we wake up. We wake up at 6 in the morning to watch the sunrise. Again, you all saw that video. And again, I wanted to do the Lion King thing, but I couldn't, which was a pity and a shame. But yeah, again, beautiful sunrise, beautiful sunrise. We get back on our the donkeys, camels, and again, the one I wanted, which was my first one, was again obstinate. He was way more obstinate this time around than he was the first time, to the point where I swear, they were going to club him or trank him or do something with him, but he was not happy. Ilias ended up taking him, and I said, "Ilias, you bastard, give me back my camel!" And he said, "No!" And that was a great deal of a funny moment. So anyway, we traveled back into town, well, not into town, into the place for breakfast, and it actually took us only an hour and a half this time, maybe because we took a different route, I'm not sure, but it took us less of a time, and my camel this time was a lot more friendly, and I liked it. I patted its head many a time, and also again, the pain, the horrible pain that comes with camel riding. Anyway, there should be you all should be taking counts of how many times I drink my coffee, which I'll have another one after this is done. So we get back and we have breakfast. And we're all sitting outside taking in the warmth of the sun after a freezing night out in the desert. And to the next to us, all of a sudden a pigeon, an actual pigeon, hits the side of it. And we're all laughing because, of course, it just literally straight just and flew off in the opposite direction of us. And we're all making fun of it. We're like, "Kamikaze pigeon." All of a sudden, it comes back literally like right over our table in front of all of our faces, and we're like and we're laughing because we're like, we shouldn't mock it. We should not mock that pigeon anymore. It's going to kill us. And we're all, me and Tomas, the French student that came with us, we're grabbing each other. We're like, because we were shocked. Anyway, we decided to go to this very nice hotel that I took pictures of that I will upload when I get back to the States. Owned by a Spaniard out in the desert. It's the only place that has a pool out in the desert, an actual swimming pool that most people, aside from myself, went in and took part in. And it was very nice. It was a very Casa Villa styled hotel. Very nice rooms. We didn't stay there. We only stayed there for a couple of hours and had lunch. Again, more delicious tagine. And then finally got in our bus. This is what I like to call the official start of the bad leg of our trip. Because many bad things happened along the way back to campus. Starting with, we upset the bus driver because apparently we were supposed to meet him in town, but we decided, the Americans decided, no, we want him to come get us at this hotel because we wanted to swim in the pool. Wee-hee, America! And poor Ilias took most of the blame for that, and he was very frustrated. And Ilias, I do apologize that you had to deal with it. You and I talked about that a little bit, but again, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Anyway, so he gets there, he has lunch with us, and we get going. We travel back into one of the towns about an hour, and we decide we're going to go see a fossil place, which is actually, they drill and they take out rocks from the ground that have fossils in it, like the dinosaurs that were in the sea. And they cut it open and they make beautiful marble and tile out of it, fountains, sinks, whatever, and they make it. It was pretty amazing. We actually got to go back into the manufacturing side of it and see how they made it. And it was very interesting, very cool. And they had a great souvenir shop as well, and it was very cool, very cool. But we ended up having to wait about 20 minutes for our bus driver to get it because he went off somewhere, and Elias had to call him back. Turns out he had ran a stoplight and got his driving permit taken away. So he had to come get us and go back and get his permit back, in which Elias had to go and argue with the cop that took the permit and the sheriff as well. So it was very intense, and I was worried. Everyone else seemed very naive and nonchalant about the whole thing, and I'm like, you people don't understand what's going on. We might not be able to get back. But we got back, and it was very, very interesting and very intense. So he got his permit back, and we went driving and driving and driving and driving. More hours of driving. And we had to stop a couple of times because people needed to use the restroom because they can manage themselves, yada yada yada. Anyway, and then right as we got close to town, most of the people that were on the trip were girls, and some of them live in town, and they say, "Oh, we want to go," and it was. Needless to say, the trip did not end as strongly as it could have. But all in all, we got back, we've survived, and I enjoyed it. And that concludes that week. So now on to announcements. Next week's video will not be very long because it's covering this week and there won't be very much to cover. On top, number 2, as you can tell, I'm growing my facial hair out because it is No Shave November, which means you're going to have to get used to seeing me with my patchy scruff, and my mother will not be watching my videos for this month, which I will not say anything about to save my skin. Third thing, I apologize that my videos have not been coming out as I say they would, being the Sunday or Monday, and I apologize for that. The last couple of weeks have been very busy for me for schoolwork with essays and all that. I have another essay coming up the week after next. I'm going to try and put the videos out on time, given that, and I'm going to try and get these videos out on time. So again, I apologize that the videos have not been coming out on time. That's all on my end, but then again, schoolwork has first priority, so I apologize. But also please understand that I'm not here as a tourist, I'm here as a student, and I'm here to study, and studies take priority. So I hope you understand that. But I do thank you for watching these videos. Number 4, thank you all of you who have been watching my videos. I've got 2 subscribers. I thank you for doing that. Creating these videos were never done with the intention of gaining subscribers or anything like that. It was just me doing a vlog about my time here and what I've learned and all that stuff, and spreading awareness about this beautiful, wonderful university in Morocco in general. So I thank sincerely everyone who has watched these videos, who have stuck with them, and those who have subscribed to me. I thank you for doing that. So yeah, I hope all of you continue to watch these videos and continue to enjoy them. I try my best to deliver on whatever, even though some people apparently haven't moved past the first video. But they will do what they will do. So, again, just thank you to all of you who have stuck with me so far. Continue watching, continue making comments, continue to correct me, and just tell me what you would like to see more in the videos, whether it's more in the university, more about myself, my times here, content, delivery, humor, etc., etc. So yeah, just let me know, and hopefully you will all continue to watch these videos. And if not, then they'll just be purely for myself. Okay, alright. I will see you all later, and hopefully you look forward to more videos. Maka salama.